Hello BookTube. Today on my 2023 library tour, I'm continuing with the history wall. Today I'm doing the first two shelves of one of the two new bookcases I bought a few weeks ago. This is the second one, which currently has no books on it, but that will soon change once I do, once my March book haul is done, or I decide to rearrange the history wall in some way besides just adding books as I get them in. But anyway, let's get going with these two shelves. Again, most of these books I have not read yet, so I really can't say too much about them. But yeah, and then tomorrow I'll do the last two shelves. So anyway, so the first two books are by Alison Weir. This first one is The Life of Elizabeth I, a biography of Queen Elizabeth I. The second book is Eleanor of Aquitaine, A Life. Next, sticking with Queens of England. This book is Queen Victoria's Matchmaking, The Royal Marriages That Shaped Europe by Deborah Cadbury. Picked this up from, I want to say, Book Depository, because it looks like an English or British trade paperback. Next is Rights of Peace, The Fall of Napoleon and the Congress of Vienna by Adam Zamoyski. Next is Gulag by Anne Applebaum. This is the history of the Soviet gulags. May also go into the gulags before then, but I don't know for sure. The next two books are by Tom Holland. This first one is Dominion, The Making of the Western Mind. Both of these are UK trade paperbacks. And this one is Persian Fire. And if anybody's curious, it's the historian Tom Holland, not the actor. Next is another work of Napoleonic history. This is The War of Wars, the epic struggle between Britain and France, 1789 to 1815, by Robert Harvey. The next two books are about Germany and during the Nazi dictatorship, and it's a two-parter. So it's The Hitler Years, Triumph 1933 to 1939 by Frank McDonough. And the second volume in the duology is The Disaster 1940 to 1945. Next is another work of German history, Blood and Iron, The Rise and Fall of the German Empire, 1871 to 1918 by Katja Hoyer. This is a fantastic book. I read it late last year and really enjoyed it. My only complaint is that it could have been about 700 more pages. Next is City of Fortune, How Venice Won and Lost the Naval Empire by Roger Crowley. This next book is one that I have some unfinished business with. It is Collapse, The Fall of the Soviet Union by Vladislav M. Zubak. This book was one of the finalists for last year's Kindle History Prize, and this is the one that I had some trouble with, and I will come back to it eventually. When exactly, I don't know. Next is a work of British history, The First Kingdom, Britain in the Age of Arthur by Max Adams. The next book is a biography of Genghis Khan, Genghis Khan in the Making of the Modern World by Jack Weatherford. Sticking with Horse Empires. This is Empire of Horses, the first nomadic civilization in the making of China by John Mann. And this top shelf ends with a presidential biography, Thomas Jefferson, A Life by William Stern Randall. Moving on to this next shelf, there are a few more books on here that I've read. But I'm beginning with a royal biography. This is Francis I, the Maker of Modern France by Leonie Frida. I really enjoyed Frida's biography of Catherine de' Medici and looking forward to getting to this one. Next is Empires in the Sun, The Struggle for the Mastery of Africa by Lawrence James. Next is a book that I'm really looking forward to reading. The Burgundians, A Vanished Empire, A History of 1,111 Years in One Day by Bart van Loo. Translated, because I'm pretty sure this is, translated by Nancy Forrest Flyer. Returning to my royal biographies, this is Friedrich the Great, King of Prussia by Tim Blanning. And now going to ancient history, I have Lives of the Ancient Egyptians by Toby Wilkinson, which I really want to get to. I think it's a collection of like mini biographies. So this is one of the books on this shelf that I've read, and this one just recently, Vanguard, How Black Women Broke Barriers, Won the Vote, and Insisted on Equality for All by Martha S. Jones. This is a fantastic book. I really enjoyed reading it. Next is Digging Up Armageddon, The Search for the Lost City of Solomon by Eric H. Klein. Klein's written a number of archaeology-based books. I've read two of them. Just saw a few weeks ago, 1177 BC, which I really enjoyed, but I haven't gotten to this one yet. Next is the winner of last year's Kundal History Prize, All That She Carried, The Journey of Ashley Sack, A Black Family Keepsake by Tia Miles. I enjoyed the book, although I found it a bit weird, but I enjoyed it. Next is The House of Medici, Its Rise and Fall by Christopher Hibbert, which I think I've read. I'm pretty sure I've read it. And I remember quite liking it, but it's been a while since I've read it. Next is The Fantastic in Cuba and American History by Ada Ferrer. It won the Pulitzer Prize as well as was one of the finalists for the Kundal History Prize, and it also won the Los Angeles Times Book Prize. So I love this book. It was my favorite to win last year's Kundal. I thought it was brilliant. One of the finalists for last year's Kundal History Prize not last year's, but the year before, which I read the three finalists and I loved all of them. This is Survivors, Children's Lives After the Holocaust by Rebecca Clifford. This is a fantastic book. I really loved it. Next is a book on Maria Theresa, In the Shadow of the Empress by Nancy Goldstone. This is Sapiens, A Brief History of Humankind by Yuval Noah Harari. Crusaders, An Epic History of the Wars for the Holy Lands by Dan Jones. Children of Night, The Strange and Epic Story of Modern Romania by Paul Kenyon. I really enjoyed his earlier Dictatorland. This is the winner of the 2021 Kendall History Prize, also winner of the 2021 Frederick Douglass Book Prize. This is the amazing, brilliant Blood on the River, a chronicle of mutiny and freedom on the wild coast by Marlene Kars. This was a brilliant book. I loved it. Absolutely loved it. Next is a book that no wait, this is not a book I have unfinished business with. When will I get to that one? Okay, tomorrow. Anyway, this is one I haven't read yet. Eagle Against the Sun, The American War with Japan by Ronald H. Spector. And finally, the book I just finished this past weekend, The Last Irish Question, Will 6 into 26 Ever Go by Glenn Patterson. This is a very interesting look at modern or contemporary Ireland and the possibility for Irish unification. And I'll talk a bit more about this book Friday with Weekly Reads. So that does it for these two shelves. I will be back tomorrow with the grand finale of my 2023 library tour. I'll do the last three shelves on this bookcase, which, again, I haven't really read everything on here, except for at the bottom. The bottom, I've got about almost half of that book, that shelf. But anyway, I should be able to finish it tomorrow, and then on Wednesday I might do a wrap up and have a discussion about what I want to do with my library going forward. But anyway, BookTube, that's all I got for today. So until I see you tomorrow, thank you. Have a great afternoon and stay safe.